that care about politics, you know exactly where I stand and where I come from. So again, it's all about civic education. That is the goal, and that is the key, and that is what we intend to do. So, like I said, tomorrow I'm gonna take it full fledged to start reading. Dr. Abass Bundu's book here. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about, and um, so you guys can see exactly what it is. But again, this is the book done by Dr. Abass Bundu. You know, Democracy by Force. You know, a study of international military intervention in the civil war in Sierra Leone from 1991 to 2000. Again, this is Dr. Abass Bundu's book, and we're gonna read it together, guys. We're gonna read it together. I'm gonna take it full fledged tomorrow, and we'll take it from there. But what is crucial, because tomorrow at least I want to start with chapter 1. But what is very crucial is if you look at the dedication, and I want you guys to see that. I moved too fast there. But the dedication of this book, again, who's Dr. Abass Bundu, right? Some of you guys know exactly who he is. But let me put this on here so you guys can see who I'm talking about. But this is Dr. Abass Bundu's book, and this is him, who is the current Speaker of Sierra Leone, and he has been Speaker since 2018 when the opposition sold the speakership to him. But this is Dr. Abass Bundu, okay? And this is his book. So for you guys that are from Sierra Leone, you would know exactly what I'm talking about, because Memona Tubari, welcome. You will know exactly what I'm talking about if you follow the politics of Sierra Leone over the past 6 years, because this man has been a Speaker of Parliament since 2018. And when you look at everything that has happened, you know, the bastardization of our constitution, right? The destruction of democracy in Sierra Leone, the violation of civil liberties, you know, the abject disregard for political rights of the citizens of that country since, you know, the SLPP came to power, then definitely you would know that when we start reading this book, you would see exactly the level of hypocrisy. And not only that, again, people like Dr. Abass Bundu, I'm giving him his doctor title, by the way, guys. He's a PhD holder. He studied law as well. So I'm giving him his title. It's PhD. You know, it's back in the day when he had his PhD, of course. PhD is not easy to come by, for sure. You have to really work hard to get a PhD. So I'll give it to him. But as far as Honorable Speaker of Parliament, no, the Honorable is taken away, because this man supervised a parliament that is the most rotten parliament ever in the history across the world. This is the parliament where they had to fight and all of that stuff, creating rancor and just foolishness, passing all kinds of laws, census, and all that foolishness, passing all kinds of dangerous laws that have affected our democracy today, and it has killed our democracy. So when you listen to Dr. Abass Bundu, you read this book that we're going to read together. I want you to see this. Then you'd understand exactly why people like these, they need to be shamed. They need to be called out for what they're doing. So thank you, Mimuna, again. You know, guys, if I'm not paying attention to the comments, don't mind me. I just want to stay focused on this, right? But this is the dedication of this book. So when he wrote this book, Abass Bundu dedicated this book to his brother. Let me read the dedication of this book. It says, "This book is dedicated to the memory of my brother, Alusain, who was brutally murdered in the rebel war in 1994, and to all other victims of the mindless cycle of hate and revenge which has ruined Sierra Leone from 1991 to date. I dedicate it also with eternal respect and adoration to the memory of my late parents, Pasantigi Kabontho Bangura of Makomne village and Madam Aissatou Kale Bundu of Binti town. They both hailed from Dibia Chiefdom, Putloko district in Sierra Leone. May their souls rest in perfect peace." So guys, you see, this is the dedication of Dr. Abass Bundu's book. It's very important. This is why it's nice for us to have this and take a good look at it. This was since 2001. This man, if he really cared about the fact that his brother brutally lost his life during the brutal rebel war in 1994, would he supervise a parliament and become a speaker of parliament that watched the massacre of citizens in Makeni, Tombo, Lonsar, across that country? And he did nothing to hold anyone accountable. As the speaker of parliament, it should have, if the opposition had really pushed him, or even if the opposition did not push him. But as a speaker of parliament, when parliament is the supreme legislative authority, we all know parliament is the supreme legislative authority. Section 105 of the Constitution makes it very clearly, states that very clearly. Would Dr. Abass Bundu supervise the killing and massacre of Sierra Leoneans after he wrote a book that he dedicated to his brother Al-Hussein? So this is what I'm going to be doing for the next few days, because again, I've taken a break. I don't come here to discuss everything, but I've been busy with a lot of, my, schoolwork myself, because you guys know that in Africa today, it is not about, substance. A lot of these guys come overseas and run, get all these PhDs and stuff, and then they go back to Sierra Leone to deplete the country and destroy the resources and destroy the nation, destroy the people of that country. You all see what is going on with the Kush epidemic at this particular point in time. It is a travesty. It is a disgrace. It is a shame. So that is what we're going to be doing, guys. We're going to be inspecting the book of Dr. Abass Bundu, so you guys can see and understand why it's important that we all play our part to ensure that we call these guys out for who they are. Because again, this book gave it all up. This book exposes Abass Bundu, who is the current speaker in Sierra Leone, for him to see that you wrote all about these things, but you supervise the democracy that has been destroyed, ruined, taken down the gutters. We don't even have a democracy in Sierra Leone right now. We had an election on June 24th, 2023, and the elections were stolen. So now we have a tripartite committee looking into the outcomes of the elections. And we are hoping the tripartite is going to strongly recommend the rerun of that election or give us the results of the June 24th, 2023 elections. And the reason why I say that is because, again, in Section 5, subsection 2 of the Constitution, it makes it very clear that through this Constitution, the government derives its legitimacy, its authority, and its power from the people. Sovereignty belongs to the people. Through this Constitution, the government derives its authority, its legitimacy, and its power from the people. And we have democracies to enforce that. We have elections to enforce that. That is where the people could say, yes, we want to pick our own leaders. For once, we give the people the authority every 4 years or 5 years in Sierra Leone for them to say, you know what, we don't want these sets of leaders, we want new sets of leaders. Abass Bundu supervised a parliament that destroyed a democracy. I mean, this man is over 80 years old, if I'm not mistaken. But he's destroying Sierra Leone for future generations to come. And because what they're doing, they're not going to feel it. It is the generations behind us that are going to come and suffer as a result of their actions. Greed. At 80 plus years old, what are you looking for again? People like these should retire and take a backseat and go sit down. What are you still doing in our parliament? What are you still doing in our democracy? So these are the questions, and this is why we're going to investigate this. I'm going to read this book with you all, guys. I'm going to read this book with you all. Yeah, so you can see it. But this is a man who dedicated this book to his brother, who was brutally murdered. But yet, he is fanning the embers of war again in that country, because the actions of this man, Abass Bundu, with that of the parliament, every one of them since 2018, including the leader of the opposition at the time, Cherry Coco, as you guys call him. These guys watched as our democracy was destroyed.